Agut Voch Raboisai. Mar Toiv. Good Moyed. Good Yontef. Lili Nishmasimi Mirasi Ruspas Mordechai. We're in Yerushalayim, Yera Kodesh. Supposed to be Oile Regel. We're a stone throw away from the Kotel, from the Koisel Amaravi. In Yeshivas, Nesivas Iron, my brother-in-law's Yeshiva. So thank you very much thanks for hosting us. Yishkoyach to the people who brought a lot of wine and wine glasses, to those who wanted to sponsor this evening, but I sponsored instead. Shkoyach. So we're here at Shana Rabbah. It's known, some Sofer said, on his very last year, he said, I got through Rosh Hashanah, I did well in Rosh Hashanah, I did well in Yom Kippur, but I didn't do so well in Shana Rabbah. And then he was nifter. So Shana Rabbah is an unbelievable day. It's a big yontif. And I think the island deserves a tremendous Yeshikoyach. Came out, it's after 10 o'clock at night. The island has other things to do maybe. Coming out for Torah, for learning. People came out on Chalamayid. They came all the way, trekked out to Ramat Bet Shemesh. And here they are again. Torah. That's what's important. So, Yishkoyach to the Chevra. In Hashan, as we said, very interesting lashon. Yesheves umamtenes ad koloi Shabbos. What kind of lashon is this? I'm waiting until Shabbos is over. It seems like not such an appropriate lashon. So yeah, there's different vartim. The Hasidim say, maybe you put the comma, you say, Yesheves umamtenes ad kilois, comma, Shabbos. Okay, whatever, one of those. And I was saying it, the oilam here, you see, look, what do we have? 60, 70 people showed up here. Givaldik, on a Motzei Shabbos. The oilam was waiting for Motzei Shabbos to come and learn Torah together. That's what they were waiting for. So Givaldik, so here we are in the Sukkah. It's unbelievable. Chaim the mitzvah with our whole body. In Eretz Yisrael, in Yerushalayim. By the way, most likely after the shir, I'm probably going to go to the Kaisel. If anybody wants to join me, go in. We're already here. We might as well go. So real quickly, while you grab food, Yossi Scheinfeld. Although I've been learning Daf Yomi on and off for over the last 15, 20 years, we're coming up to the 1-year anniversary since I started watching his shir. It was right after Sukkot. The key is, as you keep saying, if you miss a day, skip it and do the daf of the day. Eventually, you'll make it up. And it's very good advice for now at this kufa, because we're talking about Yontif and Chalamayid, and people are traveling. It's very difficult to do the daf. So in case you're not doing the daf, skip ahead. Eventually, you'll make it up. I look forward to finishing more Masechtas and the entire Shas with you. Regards, Yossi Scheinfeld. And one more from Shamshi Cohen, who made the trek out all the way to Yerushalayim from Beitar. He's here with us. Yesterday morning, I met Yosef Chaim Fletcher from Gateshead, who was visiting Bet Shemesh for Yontif. After I understood that he's fallen off the bandwagon because of the traveling, I told him he has to get back on today. At 1:48 a.m., he sent me the enclosed message. You see it on the screen. Didn't go to sleep before doing the daf at 1:48 a.m. Kol hakavod. We also have with us Ben. Huh?
At Spotify. You can watch the video on Spotify.
You can watch it on Spotify. Here, that's from Spotify. Givaldig. All of Shas. I mean, from Brachas. Yosef spent many, many hours uploading all the shiurim to Spotify, so you can see it is there as well. L'chaim, Yishkoyach to Nehemiah for arranging all the pizzas and the pastas and the wines and setting up. Yishkoyach to Gary for coming out. Yishkoyach to Tomer Levi behind the scenes. Yishkoyach, who else? Who am I missing? Huh? Oh, Mordechai. What's your name again, Sally? I forgot. Moshe. Dovi Brown on guitar. Beautiful voice, beautiful music. Yishkoyach. You know what? Maybe we could do one niggin with everybody together, not just listening to him. One Simcha, One Simchas Yantav Niggin. No? Maybe we'll get up and go like this. No? Yeah, Niggin. No, V'samachta. No? Something. Hagecha v'yoyso v'samachta b'chagecha v'yoyso Yachach someya v'samachta b'chagecha Ach someya v'samachta b'chagecha v'yoyso Ach someya v'samachta b'chagecha No! V'samachta b'chagecha v'yoyso Ach someya Samachta b'chagecha v'yoyso Ach someya Rabbi Rosner, let's go! V'samachta b'chagecha v'yoyso Ach someya Ach someya Ach someya La 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 All right. So, I was cleaning up my office because I had a lot of guests over Yontif in my sukkah, and I came across this email laying around there. It's from 2 years ago, October 19th, from Binyamin Schwartz, who's with us from the Five Towns. He's the famous dentist from Yavamis, one of the characters. So I figured it would be appropriate to read it. Thank you for coming to New York over Sukkot. It was a true pleasure to meet you and to get to see you in person. If you told me a year ago that I would be learning Gemara daily, I never would have believed it. This is 2 years ago. If you told me a year ago that I'd be excited to attend the 12:15 a.m. shir, I wouldn't believe it. Because of your shir, I'm now learning Gemara daily. I was excited to attend the live shir at midnight. I don't know if the Olam knows, but he's famous. He closes his office. He's a dentist. His wife shuts down. There are no patients between a certain hour. I forget what it is, 1 to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. What?
When you have the night shift.
Oh, don't, no, it's still going, trust me. That's how much your shir has changed me. Fine. However, seeing the shir live has given me an even greater perspective into what it really takes to make the shir a success. The amount of time, work, and effort you put into the shir is unimaginable. I don't know how you do it. So it talks about the behind the scenes. And then, listen to this. I thought it was very interesting. I therefore humbly request that everyone that learns from the shir should donate to the shir on a monthly basis. So basically, Binyamin Schwartz came up with this 2 years ago. We completely forgot about it. We shelved it. And here it is. It's in the email. It can be $5 or $500 a month, but I think it's our obligation to make sure that the shir is provided for. So he took out, listen to this, takes out a website, I don't know if it exists or doesn't exist, www.supportmdy.com, was set up as a quick and easy way to donate to the shir.
Still get donations to this day from that website.
We still get donations till this day.
Like 10 people.
This is Binyamin Schwartz, a very humble and unassuming dentist from the Five Towns. There he is. Obviously, bringing more members to learn Torah is the best option. However, this is the close second in my humble opinion. Please let me know how to transfer the domain and all information so MDY can take ownership of the account. Wishing you much, only the best. Binyamin Schwartz. I've sent an email like this. P.S. I've sent an email like this before, but it seems that I've gotten lost. That's what he writes. Here it is. So anyways, talking about the monthly SB, $180 a month. Avraham Rothstein, $25 a month. Eli Leventhal, $52. We're getting to the end of the list. We have already 560 people who signed up for the monthly just in the last couple of weeks. Dov Spitzer, $25. Jacob Moses, $26. Chaim Nussbaum, $72. Simcha Kreisberg, $101. David Bax, $18. Naftali Nolman, $10. Tani Pollock, $18. OU user, Matti Grunberg, $18. Jonathan Merzel, $20. Shimon Brul, $10. Shimon Braun, $113. Stephen Schneck, $10. Shai Stern, $100. Avram Tikotsky, I have forever because he sent me that picture. As we went into lockdown the first day of COVID, I got this gorgeous Yonah wine rib thing that's right at the entry to my house. Avram Tikotsky, $150 a month. Samson J. Schiff, $11. Ira Gradsky, $10. Stephen Bernstein, $30. Simeon Shiger, $25. Shalom Felder, $10. Jack Grazi, $101. Here he is again. I don't know what that is. Tom Moshe, $36. Judith Klein, $10. Yonah Weiss, $207. Yecheskel Gabay, $36. Adam Singer, $18. Okay, fine. So now we have one row left. Wow. Oh, and we have sponsors for today. We'll do it real quick. The Koilel Nun. Mesechta. Lila Nishmas Baruch, Yosef Baruch ben Moshe Aaron, Lila Nishmas Moshe Elazar ben Nata Shalom, for that slow, B'chol Yonah for my children. Second Mesechta sponsor, Jeff Rosner. It's zchus of my son, is a Simcha Chaim ben Sarah Chana Refuah Shlaima. Amen. Rest of the Mesechta, Ofishel Mitzva Motivators. The zchus, Refuah Shlaima for Avi Mendelbaum, Avraham Mנשה ben Chana, Bracha Refuah Shlaima. And Parnas HaChodesh, Lina Nishmas, Zechariah ben Moshe. Second Parnas HaChodesh, as a zchus, that Hashem should watch over me and ensure that I'm completely healthy. Admei Vesrim. 3 sponsors today. Yochanan Belsky, Eli Nishmas, Imi Mirosi, Rivko Bas Shlomi Yecheskel Chaim. Yortzai when it's on Erev Shabbos, Yutes Tishrei. Jashu. Oh no. Taki. Why are you putting your whole name in here? Shirayangi. Joshua Shirayanagi. You want to say it yourself? What's your name? Where is he? Shirayanagi. What do they call you? Taki. Guess in honor of who? Of Shamshi Szlafrok. Shamshi Szlafrok. On his 30th birthday, thank you for hosting me in RBS. Shkoyach Taki. And finally, by Rabbi Fishel Todd, 8th yard side of my Ima, Chana Zissel, and Aaron Stefansky, Shalom, who hosted her 20 years. I have no idea what that means. I didn't even see this. Aaron Stefansky, Shalom, who hosted her 20 years. Okay. Shamshi Szlafrok and Aliyah, all of them. Okay. Ready? Says the Haley Mishnah, sponsored by Moshe Cohen, L'Hatzlacha Parnasa, Limadat Torah, and continue L'Hatzlacha Parnasa. Hamim Me'enes, Hashniya Va'ailanis. So we have 3 women. The famous Me'enes. A Me'enes is a girl who was married off by her mother and brothers. And if you think about it, it makes a lot of sense. Because as a youngster, a girl has a hard time behaving. She'll be a mafuta, somebody will convince her. Oh boy, that's not good. Not too close. Auto-tune? Anything? No? I don't like this. Yeah, lower. Okay. Check. No. Oh, this all done. That. Test. Better? Okay. So, her brother and mother decide it's too loud. A little bit, just a little bit. Right, I'm disturbing myself. Mom's like, Dad, thank you. Could you stop disturbing yourself? I'm going to call you out in public. So her brother decides if she just goes to school and everything, some guy, a random guy, could pick her up in the street. It's not good. Let's marry her off. Somebody to babysit her, basically. So the halacha is that she could go ahead and be memayan. She could just say she doesn't want to be married to this guy, and at any given time, she just goes home. Shniya. What's a shniya? So I thought this would be gevaldik. Here's the list of shniyas. Okay? Now, I want to show you, when we were going through Yevamis, how he did this. And when we did this Daf in Yevamos, Daf Amud Aleph, we went through every single one of these cases, basically. A lot of them, not every single, a lot of these cases. So here's one case. This is a little bit more sophisticated than back then. It's the same thing, but then I learned the trick of building on the chart. So over here you have a couple, and actually we have beautiful Hadim Ben Schwartz. Yamin Schwartz, here he is, the guy that I just read his email. Here he is, the dentist from the Five Towns. He married a woman from the Five Towns, and he had a son called Reuven. But because he's here, the light is black. Oh, you guys. Okay, fine. What are you doing? Okay, fine. Anyways, he goes bye-bye. We're gonna bring him back to life because he's here with us. He goes bye-bye, and this Five-Town woman marries another man, Yossi Klein from Muncie. And they have a child together. So now you see Reuven and Levi over here in this picture. They're related. How are they related? They're brothers. But they share a mother, not a father. This is called Eishes Achia Av Minaim. It sounds very, very complicated, but it's not. It's actually one word. It's an uncle. An uncle's wife. Eishes Achia Av Minaim. Uncle's wife. How are they uncle from the wife? Here, they're brothers from a mother. And each one went ahead and married a woman. And Levi had a child called Shimon. So now Levi's uncle from his mother's side, in other words, Reuven Shimon. You see, Shimon is the child all in the bottom. Av Kamiansky. Shimon on the bottom. Shimon. Shimon's uncle is Reuven. Noam. Guys, you know Noam. Why am I showing you this? Stam, for no reason. It's not to get to the sugya. I just wanted to show you what Yevamos was all about. And why so many people dropped out of Yevamos. The best way to describe a shniya, we're in shniya, right? So anyways, Shimon is not allowed to marry his aunt, his uncle's wife, only with the Rabbanan. That's it. So, but the easiest way to describe a shniya is a grandmother. You're not allowed to marry your grandmother only because Rabbanan said so. It's not in the Torah. Believe it or not. Your grandmother's mutter. Okay. So that's how I like to describe shniya. But because I figured it's Motzei Shabbos and I just want to confuse everybody, and this would be like a typical 1 out of 20 charts on a Yevamos day. Okay, so now you guys understand. Again, just so you make it. Oh, Yichap that he came back to life. Here, this guy is married to the Five-Towner, then somebody else married her, and then they both had children from her, from the same woman. And then look, he came back to life. So Binyamin, don't be upset. You're alive here. Fine. So we have this girl that did miyun. We have a shniya, and we have islandess. Islandess is the lashon. This is also from Yoshi, drew just for us. It's the lashon of an ayol, of a ram. Just like a ram can't have children, this is the type of woman who cannot have children. Her body is completely different than a regular woman's. She can't have children. So, ein lem ksuba. They don't have a ksuba. These women, you marry an islandess, you marry your grandmother, she's not going to have a ksuba. Veloy peiros, she's not going to have peiros. Veloy mezainos. Veloy blois. Now, guy came over to me right before shir. He said he already did the daf today, and he's doing chazara. So I want to show him that he didn't really do the daf. He had no idea what he's talking about. And here's the chart to prove it. What does it mean? Elam ksuba doesn't have mezainos. So you could go back to this later. We'll say it real quickly. If you just take them in ma'enes, why does the ma'enes have a ksuba? Because she got divorced from him. It wasn't the husband that got divorced here. It's the girl that decided she doesn't want to have anything to do with her husband. She doesn't get a ksuba. What does it mean she doesn't have peiros? What it means is she doesn't have peiros. This your Rebbe didn't tell you. Peiros means that she borrowed money. He doesn't have to pay back the money that she borrowed. And mezainos means, let's say, I just wrote in, it means Medinas Hayam, I couldn't fit it in. Some things when I can't fit in, I just made up my own word, chutzlars. The husband went away to chutzlars. She borrowed money to sustain herself, to buy pizza. He doesn't have to pay it back if she was memayin. Let's go to the next one, shniya. You marry grandmother, you don't have a ksuba. Why do you have a ksuba? Because we are going to penalize her, because she has nothing to lose, explains Rashi. If she marries her grandson, her kids are not chalalim. when she doesn't have anything to lose personally, why shouldn't she marry a little bit of Issa D'Rabbanan? Oh, you think you're going to play games there? You're not going to get a ksuba. What does it mean she doesn't have peiros? It means that he doesn't have to redeem her. So when you're reading the Mishnah Tzaddik, you probably just read, no peiros, no peiros. Each one is its own little nekuda. I just decided to put it here so that it's not confusing. You want to go back and look at it. Mizaitis means you don't have to sustain her because of the penalty. Now we're going to go to the purple one, islandess. Why doesn't the islandess get a ksuba, Rabbi Yisai? Because he married her by mistake. It's a mekach tos. He didn't realize that she's an islandess. What does Paris mean? Again, because if she gets captured, he doesn't have to redeem her. And Mezainis again is talking about chutzlars. Fine, let's go weiter. Says the Mishnah, Ein lehem ksuba, v'lei Paris, v'lei Mezainis, v'lei blois. So blois, for that we have to see the Gemara. It's referring to any kind of metaltalin, specifically clothing, but it's also talking anything that goes down in value while he uses it doesn't have blois. We're going to see what the Gemara says about it. So let's say she brings in a coat and he wears the coat and he ruins it. She doesn't have it. Now, read the Mishnah with me. How do you understand this? If he decided to marry her knowing that she's an islandess, yesh lo ksuba. What does the Mishnah talk about? One out of the three cases. What are the three cases? Again, menes, shnia, islandess. The Mishnah says about one of the three cases. If he knew she's an islandess, then she does get a ksuba. What about the others? So the Gemara is going to say it's referring to everything. Almana l'kohen gadol. Now these are isurim in the Torah. These are not the rabbanans. This is not a shnia. Says the Torah can't marry an almana. Says, or the next one. Grusha, here, Bisha Grusha Misha Leikachu, Issa Deraisa, Vechalutza Lekoin Hedyait. Another Issa, Mamzeres, we know, Sina Yisrael, Bas Yisrael and also the Mamzer, Yeshlam Ksuba. Fine. So all these people, you don't have to penalize them because they're already over. They're over Issa Deraisa. You don't have to be mechazik Issa Deraisa. People don't do Isurim Deraisa. And if they do, it's not going to help. You give them Ksuba, don't give them Ksuba. When it comes to the Rabbanon, we want to make sure they don't do it. Okay. Says the Gemara, Rav Tani. In our Mishnah, Rav read the Mishnah differently. It says, Ktana yoytza beget, ein lo ksuba. If a ktana doesn't say memenas, it says in the Mishnah, if a ktana goes out where her husband gave her a get, she doesn't get a ksuba. So what does that tell me? V'kolchki memenas. Memenas, where she started the whole thing. It was her fault that they divorced. So certainly she shouldn't get a ksuba if she doesn't get a ksuba when the husband decided to get rid of her. So certainly if she decided to get rid of herself. Shmuel Tani mima'enes en ksuba. Shmuel reads like we have it that if she's meminded, she doesn't have a ksuba, but if the husband did it, yesh lo ksuba, she does have. But as Shmuel Tamei, and Shmuel goes according to himself, the Amar Shmuel mima'enes ein lo ksuba. Yotze beget, yesh lo ksuba. Fine. So that's Shmuel's halacha. Now there's a difference between miyun and a get. If she does it, it makes a lot of sense, right? Logically. She decided to get out of the marriage, why should she get paid for it? But if the husband decided to get her out of the marriage, then he has to pay her. More halachas. Mimma enes le pasla mina achim. So as you see the pasuk over here, it says, Ervas eshes achicha le sigala. There's a iser to marry a brother-in-law. Now, if she's married to a brother, she was married to a brother when she was 10 years old, and then she told him, I don't want to be married to you, she did miyun, she could go back and marry Shimon. She's married to Reuven, she could go marry the brother Shimon. Why? Because she was never married to Reuven. She was memayin. When you do miyun, you retroactively get rid of the whole marriage. And because she was never married, so now we don't have this problem of grusha, visha, grusha. She was never divorced. She was never married. Yes, she was married to this guy for 2 years, but since she did miyun, she retroactively got rid of the marriage. So she can marry a kohen. Yoitze beget, psalm and achim, upsalm and akuna. However, says Shmuel, if she got a get, then she can no longer marry the brother, and she's considered a divorcee. And Memela, she's in this pasuk of Isha Grusham Isha Leikachu, and she cannot marry a kohen. Another halacha, famous halacha, that a woman who gets divorced has to wait 3 months before she marries another man, because we need to differentiate in the pregnancies. If she gets pregnant, we don't know who's the husband. But since the Gemara is of the opinion in those days, there's different tkufas. There's a tkufa where a girl can get married get pregnant at a very early age, even way before. But then there's a tkufa in the Gemara where they couldn't get pregnant. Today, girls get pregnant very early. 11-year-olds get pregnant all the time. So, but the Gemara says that you can't get pregnant. You cannot get pregnant when you're a ketana. So therefore, l'chayra, a girl who gets divorced when she's a ketana should be able to get married to anybody immediately, because it's impossible that she's pregnant. But they did a loy plug, whatever. Said, anybody getting married, doesn't matter how old you are. But this mima enes, since she was never married, she retroactively got rid of her marriage, she doesn't have to wait 3 months. Top of Kuf Aleph, Amud Aleph, 100 Daf into Masechtas Kesubos. Unbelievable. 100 Daf. I'm going to miss this Masechta very, very badly. If you got divorced, you have to wait 3 months because loy plug. Ask the Gemara, Michael Mashmalon. All these halachas we know already. Tanina Kulu, everything. Hamimenes be'ish. We had this in Yivamis, a Mishnah towards the end of Yivamis. If she does miyun, since she retroactively annuls the marriage, then he's allowed to marry her relative, she's allowed to marry his, she can marry his own brother. So it's mamish what Shmuel is telling you. Why does Shmuel have to repeat a Mishnah? This halach of kuna, nosan lo get, who wasn't b'krov yisur b'krov, psalm kuna. What about, if you look 3 lines from the bottom of Kuf Amud Beis, it says, Shmuel, Domar Shmuel, Mima enes ein lo ksuba. If you do miyun, there's no ksuba. That halacha the Gemara doesn't bring down. So there's a little taisis all the way on the top. Taisis says, Tanina Kulu, the ksuba nami tanina. It does say ksuba in the Mishnah. Where? The Shmuel, Tani Mima enes. Shmuel is of the opinion that we learned the halacha of Mima enes. It says Mima enes in our Mishnah, not get. It says taisis beautifully. According to Shmuel, our Mishnah says the halacha that a Mima enes ain't lo ksuba. That's the first line of the Mishnah. Ha Mima enes ain't lo ksuba. According to Rav, it doesn't say the word Mima enes. But according to Shmuel, and we're quoting Shmuel here, it says taisis beautifully. We do have a Mishnah that a Mima enes doesn't get a ksuba. Great. So why does Shmuel have to repeat everything that's in the Mishnah? It says Gemara, another one chiddush out of everything that he said is why he said it, that she doesn't have to wait 3 months if she's memayim, but she has to wait 3 months if she's getting married to somebody else, if there's a get. Says the Gemara, perhaps machlokes Rav and Shmuel is machlokes Tanoi. What did Rav here? I have a chart here. Rav says Ketana doesn't have a get. Shmuel says a Ketana gets a get. Rebbe Lezer Oimer ein masa Ketana klum. So Rav and Shmuel, Rav is like the first Amoira. Says the Gemara, we have a machlokes Tanoi way before that, before previous generations. That what Rebbe Lezer says that a Ketana, when she gets married, it's 0. So I put here, Rebbe Lezer says Ketana loy says can't get married. Just my lashon so fits into the back. So matches up, blue to blue. Ve'ein balo zakim Yosef v'le'masiyadeh. So since they're not married, so if she finds something, he doesn't get to keep it. If she works, he doesn't get to keep her salary. He can't annul her nedarim. Ve'ena yarsha, and he doesn't inherit her. Ve'ena metamela, and if he's a kohen, he becomes tamei. Klal shadavar. What's the klal? Eino kish l'chol davar. Great. So Rav, who says that she doesn't need a get, matches up with Rebbe Eliezer. Ela shetzricha miyun. She has to be memayim. Rabbi Shua Omer now, Rabbi Shua in the red box says Ma'aseh Ketana Klo. When she gets married, it's a good marriage. Ubal zakim imtziasa, and if she finds something, the husband gets to keep it. Now this is very interesting, Rabbi Yisai. How could a man annul a woman's a Ketana's neder when they're not legally married? who married her off? Who married her off, Rabbi? It's like the mother. So she's not halachically, midaraisa, she's not married. Midarabanan, she's married. So how could a girl that's married in a derabanan marriage have her neder annulled by her derabanan husband? Nidar midaraisa. Says Taisus beautifully that when a person makes a neder, when a girl makes a neder, she's doing it on the condition that her husband could annul it. She's doing it al das her husband. So even though it's the Rabbanan marriage, she's doing it al das her husband. The Yarshom Tamala. So we have to understand this also. How could a person that's only married with the Rabbanan, a Kohen, who has the Rabbanan wife, could be Matama and be over Issa de Raisa? A Kohen is not allowed, right, chaps? You're not allowed to be Matama to a woman. So you know what Taisa says? It's a Meis Mitzvah. Nobody's going to take care of her. Because we had this already. The brothers are saying, look, this guy is already going to inherit her and everything. Let him take care of her. They're not going to take care of the Levaya. So it turns into a Meis Mitzvah, and that's why he's mutter. She has to do miyun. Says Gemara, maybe blue goes with blue. Shmuel matches up. Shmuel matches up with Rishua. Says the Gemara, no. Now, so go to the next chart. Nothing's changing here, just colors. Says the Gemara, according to Rabbi Eliezer, and we're going to stick in a svara here. According to Rabbi Eliezer says that when a girl gets married, it's nothing. You don't get to inherit her, you don't get her mitzvah, it's nothing. So says the Gemara, if he doesn't get anything, and we're trying to convince him to stay married to her, why? Because he's babysitting. We don't want it to be hefker in the street. So we much rather that he be married to her than that he takes on this marriage. Yet, if she finds something, he doesn't get to keep it. If she works, she makes good money, he doesn't get to keep it. So certainly, Kolchkein, she shouldn't get a ksuba. We don't even award him. Why should we award her? Says the Gemara. So Mela says Gemara, could be that everybody agrees to Rabbi Eliezer. But the question is, maybe the mechulek in Rabbi Yeshua. What? Not that it matches up, but that we'll have a machlokes in one time of Rabbi Yeshua. Shmuel, Rabbi Yeshua. Shmuel holds like Rabbi Yeshua. That will line up. Red, I put it now in blue, but like this. Red to red. Shmuel like Rabbi Yeshua. When she has to give him right? So that's as far as we say. Mela, maybe her stuff should go to him, but his stuff doesn't have to go to her. Fine. In other words, she shouldn't get a ksuba. Now let's understand the part of the Mishnah of blois. Worn out clothing. Who gets to keep the worn out clothing? She doesn't get, the Mishnah says that these three women, again, we have a menes, a shniya, and the islandess. They don't get the clothing. You told us in the name of Shmuel. Fine. Should I tell you the end of the sugya so you know what's flying here? Okay, just al regalachas, we can go back to this. What's going to happen is that if you have the coat, this worn out coat, these worn out jeans, right? Today it's in style. Worn out jeans are here in front of us. So all three women, the memenes, the shniya, the islandess, it doesn't matter if it's nichsei melug or nichsei barzo. We'll explain in a second. She gets to keep it. If it's not around anymore, he wore it out so bad that it's gone. So a memenes and the islandess are in one category, and there's no difference between nichsei melug and nichsei barzo. She doesn't get anything. But a shniya, this is what the Gemara is going to come out at the end. A shniya, what's a shniya? He was over Isidur Rabbanan, he married his own grandmother. Or he married that complicated case of the uncle's wife from the mother's side. So since he's over Isser, Rabbanan did a hafuch al hafuch, they decided to mess them both up. What she deserves, she doesn't get, and what he deserves, he doesn't get, so they shouldn't get married to each other. So what's going to happen is that nichse milug, she does get, where she typically doesn't get, and nichse tzayim barzel, she doesn't get where she typically does get. So the Chacham reversed it to punish her, and to punish him. So let's see inside. This, that she doesn't get the worn out clothing, is because it's nichse milug. So let's just recap. We had it throughout the whole Masechta. Let's get this down packed. What's nichse milug and nichse tzayim barzel? Nichse milug are anything that the woman brings into the marriage, but she doesn't specify it and she doesn't put it in her ksuba. And therefore, the husband, it remains hers. The principle remains hers. The husband gets to use the peiros. So let's say she brings in a nursing home. The nursing home remains hers. So when they get divorced, he died, she gets the nursing home. But throughout the years, the husband reaps all the profits of the nursing home. So in Barzel is very different. It's the same thing. She brings in a nursing home, but she puts it into the ksuba. Once she puts it into the ksuba, so the husband is responsible to give her whatever it was worth at the time of the marriage. They got married in 1992, and the nursing home was worth $500,000. They thought it was a lot of money back then, $500,000. He's responsible for $500,000. What happens afterwards is all his. Profits, losses, the depreciation, appreciation, everything is his. He gives her at the end of the marriage in 2022, he gives her $500,000, even though the nursing home today is worth $32 million. He gives her $500,000, Shalom Yisrael. So that's the difference between nichse tzayim barzel and nichse milug. Okay. Says the Gemara, you told us in the name of Shmuel, lo yishanu nichse milug, am nichse tzayim barzel. It was written into the ksuba, isla. She should get it back. So from over here you see that we have three women in the Mishnah. We have the Mime'enes, the Shnia, and the Eilanes. Shnia is the one that they did a big Isser. Mime'enes is no Isser. And Eilanes, so she had a problem, she can't have children. She didn't do anything wrong. Shnia, she did Isser. What we're going to see is that finally the Gemara is going to, as the Gemara usually does, classic, through the list, and the one that's the right one is at the end. I'm going to say that he's talking about the Shnia. And the reason is to flip it and make it hard for them to get married. Says Gemara, which one of the three are we talking about that there's a difference between nichse milug and nichse tzayim barzel? We're talking about a little girl who got married, her mother married her off, so she's not going to be a prutza. If the worn jeans are alive and well, whether it's nichse milug or tzayim barzel, she should get it. And if they're so worn out that they don't exist anymore, she shouldn't get anything. They're not here. Why? So not to go into complicated, just very simple on the top, this guy had no idea that she's going to be mine. So he wore the coat, wore it, and now one day, boom, she gives him the bad news, she's out of here. So why should he have to pay for it? So the same svara would basically apply to tzayim barzel and nichse milug also. Okay, so let's try the next one in the list. Eilanes. If it's around the worn jeans, she should get both. Whether it's milug, tzayim barzel, she should get it. He shouldn't have worn it, so it should be reversed. Says Gemara, nichse milug the reshusa kaime isla, nichse tzayim barzel the labreshusa kaima lesla. Says the Gemara, okay, so nichse milug, it's hers. He just gets to use the peiros, so she should get it. Nichse milug, tzayim barzel, the opposite. The opposite, what you're telling me. Nichse tzayim barzel, it's not in her rishus. The husband owns everything. All he has to do is give her the $500,000 that they signed off on the Kesubos in 1992. The lab rishus kaim, it's not in hers. Less, she does. Says Gemara el Ashni. So finally, we're coming to the end. The third woman, the Shnia, the one who married a grandmother. So then, why do we have a reverse kind of thing going on here? We can't. The Rabbanan gave her a penalty, her lidida bididei, for things that are his. like nichsim elug. And they gave him a knas in her stuff, the things that he deserves from her typically, which would be the tzayim barzel. So tzayim barzel usually he takes home. Not in this case, because you married your grandmother. You're not getting tzayim barzel. Nichsim elug, which she typically gets. Not today, because you married your grandson. Punishment. See from Rav Kahana over here. Eli glima, if she brought in nichsim elug, a pair of jeans, nichsim elug, what is it considered? You see that it's considered karnahavi. It's principle. V'loi mikasilo v'ozil adabavli. So if it's principle, he cannot wear it. He can't wear it and use it all the way until it's worn out because it's considered principle. But we have a problem. So you're considering this clothing stuff. You're considering it principle. What's pshat? Rav Nachman says peravi. It's not principle. Says the Gemara, you're right. The Rav Nachman pliga. In our Mishnah, we're talking about saying barzel. But Rav Nachman argues on this. Ein lo ksuba. So all these ladies, the memenes, shnia, islands, they don't have a ksuba. What does it mean ksuba? Ksuba means the basic standard ksuba, the 100 and the 200. But anything added, and Rashi always says this, why does somebody add something to a ksuba? Chibas bia. So that has nothing to do with everything else. So that he'll give her no matter what, even if she's an islandess, even if she's manis, give it to her. And we learned, like a me'enes v'chavrisel. Chavrisel means the other ones in the Mishnah, l'chayra. They don't have the basic standard of they'll have the extra stuff. If a girl goes off the derech, what does v'chavrisel mean? Who are the other girls? Says Rashi, a woman who has nadarim, a woman who has mumim, and a woman who curses her father-in-law and mother-in-law in front of her husband. That's a woman who doesn't get a ksuba. Nobody gets a ksuba these days. They don't have anything, these women. They don't get any of the extras, and they certainly don't get the standard. And a woman who's mezana, I don't understand exactly why is this shemra any different than Oiver Saldas. So off the derech. A mezana, Eishasish, that's mezana is not off, I don't know. Okay. Maybe Yesh L'chalik. But she is different in halacha. A woman who husband divorces her because she has a bad name. In other words, she's mezana, says Rashi, Nitel Mashal Fanel, V'yoytzish takes the nichsim melug and disappears. Says the Gemara, Ravuna, Zinsa lo yifsida b'lo yiseo kayomim. It's a funny lashon. We had this a few times. She doesn't lose the b'lo yiseo kayomim. She doesn't lose the genes that are still around. She doesn't lose. That are around. We just turned to Daf Kufal from Beis. The sponsors are in. Which one? The pressman or the other one? As a zchus, to continue being able to support Torah and to finish shots with Rib Eli. I just saw there was an email from Pressman. I didn't read it, I don't think. I saw it came in just now. Okay, tomorrow. Maybe he was saying that he wants to sponsor the Daf. All right, Chaim, Rabbi Fishel, Chaim. We should. Huh?
Going forward, they turn over on Rosh Chodesh.
Turn over what? Oh, on Rosh Chodesh. Okay. Zog the Gemara. We're only gonna. Rabbi said, "Don't worry. We're gonna go to the Mishnah. We're gonna go to the new parak, and that's it. Tomorrow we'll start the parak." Yeah.
They should sign up for the CM whilst they listen.
What, to London? Ooh, there's a good. Everybody should sign up for Siyumim all over the world. And there was a nice video that Dov Harris just sent me tonight. I forgot to put it on. Okay, tomorrow, Beis Hashem, remind me maybe. I'll put on. They did a nice little shtick. The changing. What time is shir tomorrow? 11 o'clock shir tomorrow at MDY. What time Matzeh Yantif? 9 o'clock. No, 9:15.
9 o'clock. I'm going to tell you
9 o'clock. 9 o'clock. Okay. Okay. Zog the Gemara. Tani Tana with top line on Kufahal Amud Beis. Tani Tana Gamed Rav Nachman. Zinsa Hifsida Blo Yiseh Kayam. If a woman's mizana, she loses all her clothing that he's using. Oh malay, he's zinsa just because she was mizana. Kele mizanoi. Did her clothes also mizana? Why should she lose her clothes? So you're right. Tani Lo Yifsida Blo Yiseh Kayam. No, she does not lose the clothing. Rabbi Nachman, the famous Rabbi Nachman, who used to say over anonymous rulings. Okay, because Rabbi Nachman, he wanted to make sure that people don't follow Rabbi Nachman. He's saying it anonymously, and he's wrong. Chachamim say if a woman is mizana, that's why he divorces her. She doesn't lose her blois, her worn out clothing. Says Gemara Mitchila Nasa. If he originally married this islandess, knowing that she's an islandess, then she does get a ksuba. Omer Avuna islandess, Isha ve'ina Isha. She's a wife and not a wife. This reminded me of the story. It was a great video. I didn't have time to find it. Maybe Yosef will find it. I showed it right after Chaim was nifter. I thought it was a great mice, a great video. A guy asked Chaim Kanievsky on video. He says, it says that when you get married, you should check your brother-in-laws, the girl's brothers. What are you supposed to check? She says, normali. See if they're normal. Says, what does normali mean? I hope I'm recalling correct, because I haven't seen it since then. And you know how my memory is. Normali. He says, normali means he knows how to learn. So this Chacham says, okay, what if she has two brothers? One is a normali and one is not a normali. So he says, then she's a isha ve'ena isha. She's a half and half. She's only half a woman. Huh? Marry half of her? That's what he said? Marry half of her. So, marry half of her. Thank you. Yeah. Now it's making more sense. So he says, so he asks, but Lamaisa, should I get married or not? And the best part was he goes, Baruch Shepatrani. When the guy leaves, he says Baruch Shepatrani on him. Okay. Anyways, I just remember because it said over here, Isha ve'ena Isha. She's a wife and not a wife. If you marry an islandess, she's a half a wife. What does that mean? Almana, but if you marry an almana, says Rav Huna, if almana marries a kohen gadol, then it's Isha Gemura. When a kohen gadol, the greatest man pretty much in the generation, the kohen gadol, he marries an almana where he's not allowed to marry an almana, then she's a complete wife. Says Gemara explains. Islandess, Isha ve'ena Isha, what does it mean? Hikirba, if he knew that she's an islandess, yesh l'ksuba, then she's like a wife, she gets a ksuba. Lo hikirba, the same woman, the same islandess, but he didn't know it, so it's a mekach tos. Ein l'ksuba, you don't get a ksuba. Almana, says Rav Huna, this is Rav Huna shita. Almana isha gemura. Almana is a complete wife. Ben hikirba, ben lo hikirba, yesh l'ksuba. Says Rav Huna, not true, and we're going to bring a kasha on Rav Huna. Rav Huna says, no matter what, if the kohen gadol, imagine the kohen gadol was tricked, he was fooled, he marries a woman, he thought he's marrying someone who was never married before. Turns out her husband was killed in a car accident, Amana, and he's not allowed to be married to her. Yesh l'ksuba, she has a ksuba, says Rav Huna. Meisvei, kansa, b'cheska, she can't, what's kansa, who? The kohen gadol married a woman, b'cheska she came, b'ninsa she came. He married her knowing that she's an almana, and turns out she's right, she's an almana. What's halacha? Yesh l'ksuba. So I did a quick chart, actually in the car, driving here. You should go to my son-in-law. Mayor, I'm serious. 2 charts I did in the car. It says like this. We're talking about the middle case. I think this makes it a little easier to understand. It's not a hard sugya, a very easy sugya. But why not? If there's a chart, it makes it better. We have the green one in the middle. Green always means, not always, a lot of times it means yes, it's good. So if a kohen gadol marries a woman knowing that she's an almana, and it turns out she's an almana, what's the halacha? Yesh l'ksuba. So the Gemara wants to be medayik against Rav Huna. What about the purple case? Stam. She shouldn't get a ksuba. The only reason she gets a ksuba is because he knew about it. He knew about it, she gets a ksuba, but stam. He didn't mention, are you an almana? He took it for granted that she knows that he's a kohen gadol, and a kohen gadol gave her an almana. He went on a date. He never found out that she was married before. So, l'chayro, we can be medayik from here, stama, ain't lo ksuba. And that would be a bomb question on Rav Huna, because Rav Huna says, no matter what, you know, you didn't know, she always gets a ksuba. So if I'm medayik from the green to the left, I go to the left of it, stop. Says the Gemara, you medayik the wrong way. Don't go to the left, go to the right. You see what's going on? Now it's very simple. The middle case is, he married her knowing that she's an almana, she gets a ksuba. So I could be medayik very good. But if I know that she's not an almana, she told me straight out she lied to me. She told the kohen gadol she's not an almana, then she doesn't get a ksuba. So I have no raya to the purple. You could take the green case and go to the right, you go to the left. I could be medayik from the green case two things. Stam, or when she's lying. So who told you to go stam? Maybe I'm going to be medayik. When does she get a ksuba? When it turns out that what she was saying was true. I anticipated that she was married, and it turns out she's married, she gets a ksuba. But when she lies to me in the red case, I don't know for sure, but I can be medayik. It's the only reason she gets a ksuba is because I thought that she's an almana. But if I thought she's not an almana, she doesn't get a ksuba because she lied to me. What about stam? Stam, maybe she should get a ksuba. I don't know. Maybe Rav Huna is right. If she didn't say anything, you didn't say anything, there's no lying going on here, maybe she should get a ksuba. Okay, but what about the purple case where there's no mention, are you an almana, not almana? Turns out she's an almana. Isla, she should get a ksuba. As the Gemara, she came. So then why do you tell me the middle case, the green case? I have a much better case. The purple case is a much bigger chiddush. There's no discussion whether or not she's an almana. I thought, in my head, the kohen gadol thought that she's an almana. She's not an almana. And it turns out she is. You know what the halacha is? She gets a ksuba. That's a lot more powerful than if she admitted that she's an almana. Instead of saying the green case, say the purple case, and of course I'll know the green case. We discussed it beforehand. And also, it says in a brisa that if he knew that she's an almana, she gets a ksuba. And it says mefurish in the brisa, not like a Ravuna, concept stam. If it's like the purple case, it says mefurish to yufta the Ravuna, mefurish against Ravuna. Explains the Gemara, Ravuna masnisin atisei. It's brought down in Shas. I looked it up, not that many times, maybe 5 times the whole Shas. One of them was Rav Huna and Rav in our Masechta, Rav Yehuda and Rav Huna, but not Rav Huna that made the mistake. Rav Yehuda made the mistake, but a few times the Gemara says he made a mistake in the Mishnah, and it's similar idea. Like they read the Mishnah in a way that you could be medayik it nicely, but the dik wasn't so good. Who saw him to call maflik ba'ilinas v'loikum maflik ba'almana? We read the Mishnah, and I told you to read it with me. It says in the Mishnah that an islandess, it depends, right? The only case the Mishnah makes a differentiation is if you knew that she's an islandess, then she gets a ksuba. So you made a diok. Why does the Mishnah mention in the same sentence an almana? The Mishnah only says if you knew that she's an islandess. Okay, but what if you knew she's an almana? She also doesn't get a ksuba. L'chayra. That's the simple, nice deal. Rav Huna made a great deal. You know what his mistake was? The Mishnah was only saying one case, and it's a continuation of islandness. The almana is going to be a continuation of islandness, just like islandness that could be mechalik. Between knowing and not knowing, Salman also I can be the same thing and everything else in the Mishnah. With that, we finish the perek. Hadran Allah, you want to do one niggin or are you done? He's already. Huh? Which one? London video. Why show it now? You want to show it now? I'll show it tomorrow because now it's at the end. He's not going to be happy that we show it at the end. Show it now, show it tomorrow. Why not? Show it. Why not? Hadran Allah Almonan Zoynes, Hadran Allah Almonan Zoynes, Hadran Allah Almonan Zoynes. A good Yantev, a good Moyed, a good Voch. Episode Niggin, Rabbi, I have one Niggin before we go? No? V'chagecha v'yisa v'yachsam v'yav v'samavachtom